Hello, Real Vision people. This is Sebastian Moonjava, and today we have Jesse Knutson, and he is the VP of Financial Products at Blockstream. How are you doing, Jesse?
Pretty good. How you doing, Sebastian?
Not bad at all. So I'm super
No.
excited to hear a little bit about how you got into this space and Blockstream. But let's start first with how did you get into crypto? How did you discover it? How did it catch your interest?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, my background, as you can probably guess from my title, VP of Financial Products, is in traditional markets. But the way I got into Bitcoin was actually through Raoul Pal and Real Vision.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah. So back in 2014, I was sitting on a trading desk in Barclays here in Taiwan. I'm in Taiwan. And my boss at the time, Dan Clark, he was an early Real Vision subscriber. So we were sitting there as traders do, watching videos on Real Vision. And talking about a lot of the stuff that you guys were talking about back then, like, you know, the fallout from the GFC, the pension crisis, how does all of this not end in absolute tears, right? And kind of stumbled upon this 2014 video of Raul and Grant. And that really solidified my brain from a markets perspective. A lot of the stuff that I've heard previously, you know, specifically from Andreas Antonopoulos, and also, funny enough, his appearances on the Joe Rogan Experience. So that's my path to Bitcoin, was the unholy trinity of Raul Pal, Andreas Antonopoulos, and Joe Rogan.
There we go.
Yeah. Yeah, flash forward to 2016. I'm at an Australian investment bank, and price was trending up in Bitcoin, and my boss Dan, he'd also moved over as well, and we started getting confidence to start pushing Bitcoin internally. So we were one of these guys that were kind of like, you know, Bitcoiners behind enemy lines, right? You know, the company was really supportive of people finding good ideas and pushing them up the food chain. And so for us, Bitcoin was our good idea, and I think. So one of the things they did was they put me on the road and they said, why don't you go out and meet our clients, you know, talk to people, and then kind of gauge what their level of understanding is and their interest in Bitcoin. And even back then, there was just a massive amount of interest in it, right? So I was going out and getting client meetings, and you'd get, you know, 2 or 3 traders, you'd get some analysts, you'd get like super senior CIOs, portfolio managers. And there was a lot of people that were really interested in it. And so that's kind of how it developed from there. And from there, we started doing a lot of client events. So we had dinners with, you know, in Taipei of all places, with Charlie Lee from Litecoin, Bobby Lee, his brother, who was founder of BTC China, who at the time BTC China was one of the biggest exchanges in the world. Vitalik was here. You know, and people were really interested in ICOs during that ICO boom, and you know, our clients were like, they're giving you money to do what? And, you know, kind of in hindsight, it's still unclear what you got for that. Maybe not a hell of a lot. And then we did a big Bitcoin conference too. So at the time when JP Morgan was doing these blockchain conferences, we really wanted to do like a Bitcoin one. It was not a blockchain one, it was a Bitcoin conference. So, and we had a really good, you know, we had 70 institutional clients come out to our offices in Hong Kong. And then we had, on the industry side, we had participation from guys like the CEO of Bitfinex and Tether, right? When Tether was getting a lot of momentum. We had the guys from Bitfury, they're a big Western miner, and Blockstream, and that's kind of how I got to meet Adam and Samson. So, you know, to make a long story short, at the bank, there was kind of a limit as to what we could do in the space realistically, especially at that time. One of the things we were able to do was to make an equity investment into Bitfury in 2018. So that's how I kind of really went down the rabbit hole on mining. And I was one of the guys that was pretty involved in that deal and pushing that forward. But it was kind of clear that's as far as we could take it within the bank. So eventually, you know, I left the firm, and when I had an opportunity to join Blockstream, just jumped on it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Can you tell me a little bit about like what is Blockstream? What kind of products do you guys offer?
Yeah.
You know, I always think of it when I think of Blockstream as them like helping build out the Bitcoin ecosystem. Can you explain
Exactly.
a little bit in more detail about what you guys do?
Yeah, so I think we're best known for our contributions to the Bitcoin Core protocol itself. You know, we've obviously had a lot of really well-known developers work with this and work for us. And Adam Back, our CEO, is one of the most prominent among them, right? And he's one of the company's founders. And Adam, of course, is on the white paper behind me, famously cited in the white paper for his invention of Hashcash and you know, the proof of work algorithm used in Bitcoin mining. So research is a big part of what we do. We also have a number of you know, software products built off of Bitcoin. We've got an asset management platform that lets you create digital assets and issue them. We've got the Liquid network, which is a sidechain of Bitcoin. And that allows you to do faster, more confidential transactions for Bitcoin, USDT, and other assets, like our security token that's issued through our asset management platform that'll trade on Liquid. We've got the Green wallet, our Aqua wallets, and then also physical devices like our Jade wallet, which is kind of like a Trezor analog or like a Ledger. And then, of course, the Blockstream satellite kits, which let you broadcast the Bitcoin Blockstream around the planet, independent of the internet. Yeah. And then the last component of it is mining.
So let's touch on, I do want to say, touch on a little bit about Liquid. So Liquid, again, is helping build out scaling solutions for Bitcoin. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
And then you also just mentioned that utilizing Liquid, you guys have you offer securities that are tokenized securities that exist on Liquid. Is that correct?
Yeah, no. So our asset management platform will let you issue other assets on it. And then for an example, so we've just last week, I'm not sure when this will air, but last week we just kind of publicly announced that we're issuing a security token offering, an STO, out of Luxembourg for our Blockstream Mining Note, right? So that's a note that will entitle investors to the Bitcoin produced by the underlying hash rate on that note, right? So that's a security that will be issued on the asset management platform and on the Liquid network. So it's not an ERC-20. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. And what is the standard that is there a token standard that you guys use?
Yeah, it's on the Liquid network. So it's our own Liquid network token. Yeah.
I see. Well, tell me a little bit more about this, the Bitcoin or the Blockstream mining unit.
Yeah. So essentially, so we've got our mining business, right? We've got 300 plus megawatts of mining that we've been running for basically institutional focus since 2016. Most of it's in North America, but we're kind of slowly expanding it into other kind of geographically stable, political stable kind of.
Do you mean that it's geographically located there, as in the actual miners, or are you meaning the offering?
No, yeah, if you want to be clear about that. The offering is not available to US investors, but the hash rate that backs it, right? The hardware is, we're not saying specifically where that'll be because, it could be from any of our facilities, right? And so the bulk of our facilities for mining right now are in North America, right? In Canada and the United States. And then also we're exploring other markets, Australia. But all the markets we look at are kind of geopolitically stable, rule of law kind of markets. Yeah, so we've been operating this business since 2016, and some of our clients, they're pretty well-known people. They're big names from traditional finance, from technology kind of VC, Silicon Valley type people, and then also big Bitcoin companies and kind of high net worth crypto people as well. So I guess maybe talk a little bit about Bitcoin mining before we get into because that provides some background to the note, right? So. I think probably our differentiator on the mining side is we like to think we have a more polished product. So if you look at our actual facilities, it looks a lot more like a modern data center than maybe some of the pictures you've seen out of China. So that means things like power, security, performance, compliance, auditing, transparency. All of this stuff needs to be up to institutional standards, right? And a lot of cases, these standards don't even necessarily exist yet because the institutional side is still being built out for mining. So we're also trying to create these practices, and that so they would look like something that's not completely alien to people from the operations or the IT side of say like a major international financial services provider. So that's kind of our mining side in a nutshell. And basically what the BMN is, it's our effort to tokenize that, break it up into smaller chunks and make it available to more people.
Hey, if you like this clip, be sure to like and subscribe for more crypto related content. Also, be sure to check out the full interview and more only on realvision.com/crypto.